but when I did my a group, it was a monthly wellness group. I loved this group because
Wow.
there were probably 12 people in the group, and each one of them had their own special personality.
Oh, wow.
And they'd talk about, oh yeah, my bipolar, my mania is coming on, and this and that. They were just all so free about it.
Yeah.
And another guy who would go, oh, my name's so and so, and I didn't try to kill myself this week. And everyone's like, oh, good,
Right.
you know. And
Absolutely.
I don't know, I just really loved that group.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, I really admired them
Yeah.
and their work together.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another segment of Conversations with Carmen. I am Dr. Carmen Majid, and we're glad to have you. This morning, I am excited to be joined by my colleague and fellow private practice owner, Catherine Gruman, licensed marriage and family therapist. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Super excited to have you.
Thanks.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's good to be
All right, so let's start our time together.
Okay.
I have some really interesting things that I know about you and can't wait to dive in a little bit and hear your story. And yeah, so I know that you are not a native Californian. You were born in Washington, D.C. And relocated to California at a very early age.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about that?
Just born in Washington, D.C. Parents moved to California when I was 2. So that's pretty much it. I don't remember anything before that.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah,
All right.
to the South Bay.
To the South
area,
Bay.
yeah.
Okay. Did your parents ever tell you anything about DC, memories, experiences?
Just that my parents got a job with the FBI or something,
Wow.
doing just administrative stuff.
Okay.
So it was an opportunity just to
Yeah.
work, I think.
Okay.
They grew up in Illinois, so
All right.
it's fairly.
Wonderful.
But that's all I know.
That's all you know. So California's home.
That's all I
California's
know.
home.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And then fast forward to high school. What was high school like for you?
High school was fun. I think I enjoyed people. I was friends kind of across the board with everybody. Had 1 or 2 really close friends.
Yeah.
Underachiever.
Okay.
A CB student. Was
Okay.
more interested in just having fun.
Sure.
And I wasn't in sports or anything. My last year, I was a song leader. I don't even know if they call them that anymore.
I think they
but
still
that's
do.
like a dancing kind of a cheerleading thing.
Yeah.
That's when I finally got, in my senior year, when I finally got involved in something. But I
Okay.
just had a lot of fun hiking and biking. And
Biking, just being out.
Just being out. I was a
Yeah.
kid in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Just the way you moved about the world.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to ask you, did you have, I mean, you know, a lot of us
Yeah.
didn't, but did you have any thoughts, even preliminary thoughts about like, when I get older, this is what I want to be, just professionally speaking? Yeah.
In high school, I think I wanted to be an oceanographer,
Wow.
but I didn't know anything about how to get there.
Okay.
And maybe a teacher. So I had these thoughts, but I
Yeah.
wasn't on track to go to high school. I mean, not
Okay.
high school, but college.
Right.
So I didn't have this track
Okay.
that I was
Yeah,
on.
this trajectory, like
Yeah.
first this, then this, then this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then of course that changed
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
over the years. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, and then a little later on down the line, you obtained your bachelor's degree. Now, what was your degree in? What is your degree in?
It was business admin,
Okay.
administration.
Yeah.
I think they called it organizational leadership or something
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in 2008
Okay.
as my kids were growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you have 2 sons, and you were okay. And while you were raising your kiddos, was that when you were studying towards to earn the degree, or was that before or after?
It was, let's see, it was 2008, and I can't even remember how old they were then. But it was towards, I think they were teenagers when
Okay.
I got that.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
before that I was doing administrative work and HR and different sort of things just to make money.
Yes.
Recruiting
Yeah.
and our corporate recruiting and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That was actually going to be my next question. What
Oh.
took you there initially?
To
HR.
To
Yeah, I think you
HR?
probably answered it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like it met a need, and
Yeah, I think from what I recall, I got a temporary job in an HR department, and then that sort of
Yeah.
put me on a trajectory, so to speak, of
Sure.
just being in HR, and then encouraged me to get my BA.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ended up doing corporate recruiting, and that was
Wonderful.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then
Love it.
after that,
Okay.
other stuff
Other
happened.
stuff surfaced.
Yeah,
Other
other
stuff
stuff.
surfaced. Okay, so I remember when we chatted initially, you said something to the extent that in terms of what launched you from the human resources world to the therapy world, you wanted to connect to people. You felt like you needed something deeper. I remember
Yeah.
that was remember really feeling struck by that statement. So, what does that mean to you?
Yeah. I've always had a need to connect deep with people. I think my whole life I've had
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And when I first went into HR, I thought, oh, great, I can connect to people. But it's really not the setting for the way,
Right.
it's not like a emotionally
Yeah.
safe
Right.
kind of therapy. Yeah, it's
Right.
it's more corporate.
Definitely.
And wait, what was your question? I'm sorry.
So yeah, no
About-
worries. So I think I was flashing back to a really
yeah.
cool statement you had made. I wanted to connect to people. I wanted something
Right.
deeper.
Right.
Yeah.
So after I did corporate recruiting, I went into contract recruiting, and then that didn't work out. So I was unemployed for almost a year.
Okay.
Mom passed,
Okay.
and then I always had this thought in the back of my mind about being a therapist, way back from when I was 21.
Yeah.
Because of my experience with my therapist,
Right.
she sparked this in me. I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's where it first started, and then of course
Yeah.
HR,
Right.
recruiting,
Right.
unemployed.
And then
So when I was unemployed in 2008, I
Mhm.
thought, what do I want to do? I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I'm going for my therapy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I'm wondering, obviously without probing the details of your therapy, but you said
Yeah.
you stepped into therapy for the first time at the age of 21,
Yeah.
and you said it was that positive
Yeah.
experience that really got your attention and inspired you. So in general,
Oh, okay.
what were those positive takeaways?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That connection. It just walking in, kind of like your space here is
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
positive. But just walking into the therapy room with
Yeah.
Wynn, my
Yeah.
therapist.
Yeah.
She's an older woman.
Oh, wow.
And she, I don't know, just the emotional connection and someone actually going, how do you feel? And
Exactly.
being heard, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. I literally don't know if I had really experienced that. Like,
Wow.
I'm sure I did in my life.
Sure.
I know I did, but
Yeah.
just that sacred kind of this is our space.
For
and
sure.
It's like, this is,
Yeah.
I want to do this.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I want to do this.
That's
And
amazing.
so, yeah.
And I think that oftentimes we don't know what we need, or we don't know that we're missing something from our own personal experience
Yeah.
until we're confronted with it, or until it's offered to us. And
That's
that
a good-
might be something that you experience. That's just my perspective.
Yeah, maybe.
And then part two of that is once we get it, then I think we are able to offer it to others that much more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's just my thought.
'Cause
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because I know we know how it feels. It's
Yeah.
like, I want my clients to feel like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad she was a part of your journey.
yeah,
You know,
a long time ago.
Yeah, definitely. So I know we also chatted a little. I know I asked you this as well previously. When you decided that you wanted to go for it and become a licensed therapist, I think I remember asking you, like, was that self-confidence or sense of self-efficacy, was that naturally built in, or was that something that came a little later? Did you struggle a little bit in the beginning? Because it's one thing to go through a degree program, study, take your exams, get your license, but then to actually launch and feel confident, that might be a
Yeah.
different story. So
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
what was that journey like for you?
When I decided, I knew it was now or never. I mean, just I'm
Yeah.
going to do this. But I still felt like, am I good enough? Am I going to be good enough there? Is it going to be too hard? Because I wasn't a great studier. But I was compelled to do it. So
Sure.
I had enough confidence to get into the program. but I always still felt like it was up here, you know. Everything's up here.
Yeah.
Everything's on a pedestal, you
Right.
know. Like, and then once I got there, it's like just regular people still.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then my confidence built, of course, as I learned. And then I graduated and got licensed.
Exactly.
So the journey kind of built the confidence. I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Was it a different experience being in school versus being out of school, graduated, licensed in your element, and actually doing therapy? Were there differences?
Oh, yeah. Being in school, you're in that bubble of
Yep.
learning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
that bubble of learning, thinking you know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
in the real world, and then being a therapist outside
Right.
in the world
Right.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can imagine.
Kind of learn as I go.
Absolutely. No, definitely. And and the trajectory is not always linear. I mean,
No.
ebbs and flows, and sometimes we take a few steps forward, and then we may feel like we take a couple steps back, and then we circle back around and loop around, and then we're on the path again.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. I also remember you shared with me that your graduate's program was out of state. It was in North Carolina.
It was.
And you decided to pursue that, I think, when your sons were like young adults. Is that what you told
yeah,
me?
they were mid to late 20s.
Okay.
I asked them
You
how they
yes,
felt.
Yes. How did that go down? How did that conversation
They're
flow?
like, yeah, go for it, Mom.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were both living their lives, the best. And looking back, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they were so young when I
Aw.
went, but they were okay. They're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I checked in with them, and then I went to North Carolina, Appalachian State, in the
Okay.
Appalachian Mountains.
Mountains.
I
Wow.
say Appalachian because everybody here says Appalachian, but they say it's Appalachian.
Oh, wow. Okay. They know best.
So, so I'm just pronouncing it the way they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Why North
so great.
Carolina?
Well, I didn't seek out North Carolina, but I was just looking at a bunch of different schools.
Okay.
I went on the LMFT list.
Sure.
Who's certified, or not certified, accredited.
Yep.
Applied different places.
Mhm.
And then I remembered, I just thought of this. I was talking to a director at Humboldt,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes, we don't have a program
Oh.
this year, but you should check out the South.
Wow.
A lot's going on down there.
Okay.
And so I looked at my list, and so I
Yeah.
just sort of honed in on it. And
Okay.
that's kind of, now that I think about it, him saying that kind of piqued my
Yeah.
interest to the South.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, very cool. And then when you were there, were you were you living on campus? Were you living
No.
campus housing, just living?
I was living in an apartment.
Okay.
2 or 3 different ones, just like a
Okay.
college student, depending
yeah.
on when leases ran out,
Mhm.
roomies. I mean, it's like,
Right.
but not on campus. Yeah, but
Okay.
it's a small town, so everything was walking distance
Okay.
to the college,
Yeah.
at least during college.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Or-
okay.
grad program.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
a little
great.
town, a Boone, and all the seasons.
Sounds amazing.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah, I believe it. That's great. Okay. All right. So North Carolina finished your program, then came back to. Actually, no. You started your internship. You started your internship while you were in North Carolina, right?
Yeah, let me think. They did the intern. Yeah, I started it there, and I got licensed there.
Okay. Yes.
So I stayed an extra almost 2 years.
Right.
And then I came back here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think I remember you were sharing with me that you worked with the chronically mentally ill as well as substance abuse clients. Is that started in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a
Okay.
dual diagnosis
Okay. Okay.
program.
What can you tell me about working with that clientele?
I always think of a group that I had. That clientele, I'm thinking of the chronic mental
Chronically
illness, like
mental.
schizophrenia and
Okay.
bipolar,
Yeah.
chronic depression. I don't even know if that's a term anymore. But it was interesting because they'd come in and they valued their time.
Mm.
They'd kind of come in and out. We'd have our time together. And I
Wow.
did tons of groups.
Okay.
So most of my time with them was our sessions were like 20 minutes
Yeah.
because they'd check in
Sure.
and we'd, I had
Right.
one man, they were just so candid about their symptoms.
Mhm.
He's like, yeah, I'm seeing somebody over there. I'm standing next
Yeah.
to, he'd have
Right.
his hallucinations while we're in session.
Yeah.
And it was just normal. He's like, I'm just going to ignore them.
Yeah.
And it was the sweetest thing.
Wow.
But when I did my a group. It was a monthly wellness group. I loved this group because
Wow.
there were probably 12 people in the group, and each one of them had their own special personality.
Oh, wow.
And they'd talk about, oh yeah, my bipolar, my mania is coming on, and this and that. They were just all so free about it.
Yeah.
And another guy would go, oh, my name's so and so, and I didn't try to kill myself this week. And everyone's like, oh, good,
Right.
you know. And
Absolutely.
I don't know, I just really loved that group.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, I really admired them.
Yeah.
Their work together.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. No,
anyway.
that's great.
That's just kind of expressing their candidness
For
about their
sure.
symptoms, you know.
For sure. And then you holding space for that,
Yeah.
you
and
know,
just, okay,
it's super
next.
important. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
And how else would you say you forged connections with them? What did that look like?
I think just being with them.
Yeah.
You know, just welcoming them. Hey, come on in. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna go around, check in.
Yeah.
I think I remember in the group I'd say, what are your triumphs and challenges?
Oh,
And
wow.
what's your mood? And you know, just real basic questions. But
Right.
that really got it going.
Yeah.
But connections with individual time with them, just being there
Yeah.
and listening.
Right.
And I was learning too. I mean, I was learning.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
yeah.
Now, when we think about client outcomes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, I'm sure we all measure outcomes. Client outcomes are going to differ across
Yeah.
populations. So, with the chronically mentally ill population, what would you say were any measurable outcomes or just observable outcomes? What did that look like?
I think if I'm thinking back,
Yeah.
if they're able to, well, suicide ideation is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
No
Absolutely.
suicidal thoughts.
Yep.
Yeah. Did they spend time with people this week? Were they able to get out of bed and
Yeah.
do something like a positive activity?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Did they talk to somebody?
Yeah.
Did
That's
they
great.
move their body? You know,
Absolutely.
real basic stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And showing up.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
That's
And are they
amazing.
meeting with their doctor? And are they on meds? Are
Right.
they,
Right.
or are they? I'm not a med. That's out of my scope. But
Right.
are they taking them accordingly?
Medication
you know?
compliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
All right. So really maybe checking a lot of those basic fundamental boxes, you know, as often
Yeah.
as possible. Yeah.
Body language. stuff
Yeah,
like that.
definitely. Definitely. And was that enough for you just in terms of feeling gratified and feeling like you were making a difference?
Enough. And sometimes I didn't
Mm-hmm.
because another group, like if people had anxiety and depression, not
Yeah.
the one type of group that I was talking about, but another one.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I felt like I wasn't doing enough because there was some of the population that wasn't as severe.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was learning, like, oh, what do I do? How do I get them not to feel this way? But now I know
Yep.
we can't get them not to feel
Yep.
it.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
and in the moment, it was
Right.
gratifying because I was learning and I was looking forward to graduating and getting licensed.
For sure.
You know?
Absolutely.
It's like
Yep. That's right.
constant learning.
A constant learning. You know, it's an ever evolving process
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
And the team and friends and laughing
Yeah.
together.
It's important too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
definitely. Definitely. Okay, so licensure. So you
Yeah.
you were duly licensed at one point, and I know you became licensed in North Carolina in 2014,
Uh-huh.
and then became licensed in California in 2016.
Yes.
And then joined the Soul Tenders Provider Network in 2017.
Yes.
So, okay, good. I'm glad kept that all straight. Okay. So I am so curious about what your experience was transitioning from an employee to a private practitioner. What was
Yeah.
that journey like?
It was really exciting and relieving because I always thought I'd like to be a private practitioner, but how do I do it?
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know?
exactly.
It took me time not to worry about either getting in trouble or pressure or that employee
Yes,
mindset.
for sure.
Because in California, I was working for substance abuse inpatient places. and there's just a lot going on there.
Right.
and I don't even want to get it. It's just a
Yep.
lot, no, you got to do this, you got to do
Right,
that.
right.
And soul tenders, even though, they're a management company, so
Mhm.
they support my private practice.
Sure.
It took me a while to adopt the fact that, oh, this is my practice.
Right.
And soul tenders is there to help me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And this
Yeah,
is their passion to
for
help
sure.
therapists. So it took
Absolutely.
me about a year to ease in
Yeah.
and get comfortable with, this is my practice.
Yes. Yes. Yep. And I think that is such a collective experience. I mean, it's
Yeah.
going to show up a little bit different for each and every one of us, but just the very fact that there is or was a transition period. I think we all were faced
sure.
with, ooh, wait, before I do this, do I need to call someone and ask permission? Ooh, do I need
Right.
to shoot off an email and make sure that I confirm that this
Yeah.
is okay? It's like, no, you don't.
No.
Yeah. And I'm curious, do you delineate at this point between someone being an independent contractor versus being an
Yes.
actual practice owner? How do you
Yeah.
delineate between the two?
That's a very good question. It took me a bit of time to learn that,
Mhm.
just because of the mindset of employee.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
The difference, yes, I do delineate
Mhm.
between the two because as a private practice therapist,
Mhm.
it's my practice, and I'm accountable, and I'm passionate about what I do,
For sure.
and I express myself
Yeah.
in my practice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have my own way of being with my clients.
Mhm.
It's kind of
Absolutely.
like there's a fluidity.
Absolutely.
Fluidity.
I love that.
Fluidity about
Yes.
it.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's a new word.
Yep.
It's I'm being me.
For sure.
And there's something about what was the other one? The contract.
Yep. Independent contractor.
It's like I imagine just going in and putting
Doing
in
the
my
things.
time
Yep.
according to how this company wants me to
Yep,
do it.
yep.
But that's not what this is.
Right. Right. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
It's literally your own baby, of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I want to add, I align with soul tenders,
Mhm.
their
Mm.
ethics and legal
Mhm.
and their client and the way that they care for clients.
Their mission statement. Yeah. Their mission.
Their mission.
Yeah.
I align with it.
Yeah, that's
and so
important.
it makes it easy to be a private
Absolutely.
practitioner
Yep.
with Soul Tenders
Absolutely.
Management Company.
Absolutely.
It's just natural
Absolutely.
and organic.
It is.
So it's
And you nailed it. You nailed it. Really, genuinely resonating for
Yeah.
what we stand for.
yeah.
Something that's right up your alley, as they would say. That makes it
Yeah.
easier. You're just living out your passion,
Yeah.
and the infrastructure that's here to support aligns with maybe your worldview, your
Yeah.
vision. And that makes it even more of a seamless experience. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
What feedback, guidance, advice of sorts would you give to anyone who might be watching and who might be on the fence in terms of, I think I might want to take the leap.
okay.
I'm working full time, but I'm really not sure. I feel this drive. I
yeah.
feel this inner passion, but I'm scared. What advice
scary.
would you give?
Yeah.
It can be.
At first, if
Absolutely.
you're not a multimillionaire and have money and yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
give it a try.
Mhm.
It's definitely worth it because
Mhm.
even though it's a transition from a salary
Mm-hmm.
at first,
Mm-hmm.
it
At
takes
first.
just a few
It's important.
months.
Yep.
Those clients are going to come in and
Yep.
you keep taking clients and then you're going to build your
Absolutely.
every month it's just going to
Absolutely.
be almost the same.
For sure.
I
Yep.
can't say that, but actually that's been the case with me.
Yeah.
Once I got to the point of a caseload, it's like,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
goes up or down or whatever. But
Absolutely.
so just
Yeah.
try to just recognize that the beginning few months it's a little scary,
For
yeah.
sure.
And I mean I worked full time and part time until I could do it.
Okay.
So it's not
Yeah.
like a real, this is easy
Yeah,
at
right.
first.
Yeah.
But in terms of the work itself, but it didn't take long to get there.
Mhm.
In terms of the work itself is just such a freeing
It is.
experience.
It is.
I mean, I literally am just being myself
Yeah.
every day.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
No one's telling me how to be a therapist or
Right.
even how to write my notes.
Right.
Obviously, we don't get paid if we don't write
You
our
should
notes.
submit your notes,
But we shouldn't get paid if we don't write our notes.
Absolutely.
But like,
Right.
you know, they've got to maintain their integrity.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
so yeah, it's really worth it because you have the support
Mm-hmm.
of Soul Tenders takes care of, you know, all the
Absolutely.
electronic notes and all that system.
Billing,
and
credentialing, yeah.
all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just show up and take care of clients.
That's right. That's right.
Which is
That's
all
it.
I want to do.
That's it. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Really, really nicely said. And I think the collegial nature of our network is amazing. Amazing set of colleagues. We have over, 200 plus people in our network, and just there's always someone there who's got your back,
Yeah.
who you can turn to, consult with. I know,
True.
so yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Having somebody
Yep.
to consult with at any given
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I feel like this next question I'm going to throw out there, I feel like we've been speaking to it, but if there's anything else you want to add to it, please
Okay.
do.
Okay.
I was going to ask you, how do you believe Soul Tenders supports your growth and development as a private practitioner? I feel like we've been speaking to it, though.
Yeah. How do they support me?
Yeah.
First of all, by letting me be me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, definitely.
And following through with their commitment to provide what I need to be a therapist here,
Yep.
you know, or at my home
Yep.
at this point.
Right.
But also they provide, CEUs and
Yeah.
things. Not all free, of course,
Right.
but, just they're always looking
Yep.
to enhance our learning.
That's great.
I can't quite put a finger on it. I think I'm thinking in the past, just different moments
Yeah.
of just the fact that we're all human and we all have our moments as therapists. I can remember, I hope Wendy does. This was years ago. This was a few years ago, and I'm not going to talk specifically about the type of client
Sure.
because I don't, I want to protect my clients' feelings and all
Right.
that stuff. But I remember just being able to, I was just upset.
Mm-hmm.
I was just upset.
Yeah.
I was just upset.
Mm-hmm.
And I called Wendy, and she literally talked to me for 20 minutes on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just listening. Oh, yeah. I think that it's empathy.
Yep.
Empathy.
Yeah, there you go.
Soul Tenders has
Yeah.
empathy for us and understanding of what we go through. Because we all
Absolutely.
struggle
Definitely.
with different kinds of clients sometimes.
Definitely.
And a lot of times it's about ourselves.
Yeah. Yep.
And her just being on the other end of the phone, and we all know how she'll say, "Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
I know.
Yeah.
That's hard.
That's
you
hard.
know, you can't do a lot of work with that."
Exactly.
Or something
Exactly.
like that. So
That sounds like what you
validation.
needed. Yep, that's right. In the moment.
Yeah.
In the moment.
So
Yeah.
validation
Yeah,
is probably huge
Wonderful.
to contributing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh, I
amazing.
know I would cry. Wendy.
I love that. Yes, yes, yes.
She knows everything we all go
Yes,
through.
definitely. Yeah. Okay. Well, no, we've got some
Yeah.
really, really wonderful support
Yeah.
here, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that you're thriving and continuing to thrive, and you know what your resources are, and you know how to reach out for help, and yeah, we're all here for each other.
Yes, and I need to add something.
Yeah,
Our
go
weekly
for it.
consultation,
Mm-hmm.
even though it takes time every week,
Yep.
I got to block my calendar.
Yep.
But just the fact that they provide that, it's not mandatory because they can't tell us
Sure.
what we do and not do,
Sure.
but it's such a resource.
Yeah.
Like literally
Definitely.
just every week showing up with the group
Yeah.
and bringing stuff to the table.
Absolutely.
Because I don't, I think, how do therapists go rogue and just do therapy and not be held accountable?
Right.
So
Yep.
anyway,
Yep.
I like it because it helps ground me.
Yeah. Definitely.
To-
Ground you. It's a chance to unplug for a minute, to reconnect,
Yeah.
to share, to inspire others, to allow yourself to be inspired, to allow others to pour
Yeah.
into you, because we are constantly pouring into our clients, and
Mm-hmm.
then we're pouring into our, outside of work, our friends, our family members, our loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Having weekly consultation for an hour or two, it's a way to allow others to
Yeah.
pour into you.
Right.
And I think that's right. And I think that somehow we lose that in translation as clinicians, because it's inherent for us to show up for others. But when it's like, wait a minute, we don't we have needs too. we have those same
Yeah.
emotional needs, whatever they may be. Let's
Yeah.
slow down a minute and allow someone else to give to you. You know,
Right.
so and that
That's good.
kind of gets lost in translation sometimes. So
Yeah.
I hear you about the weekly consultation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a standard,
Mhm.
you know, that
Yeah.
they
Yeah, definitely.
and also sharing what's working.
Oh, I
Like
love
this
that.
week, I said, "Oh, I want to share this really cool thing that happened."
Love it.
So
Yeah.
just validating ourselves.
Absolutely.
just
Absolutely.
kind of bragging about
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure.
No.
No, of course you
It's
should.
like, this
yeah.
is really good. I can't believe this happened. with this
Absolutely.
client.
No,
So,
very good. Very good.
So.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to switch gears just for a minute.
Okay.
You shared with me that you recently started seeing couples in your practice.
Yes.
And I am curious what inspired you to start working with couples, and was there like an initial hesitation about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes and yes. And yeah. I have always told I was intimidated with couples for a long time, thinking, "Oh, I
Okay.
don't know how to fix them," which is, of course, we all know we don't fix people, but
Mm.
just the pressure put on myself
Yeah.
to do and say and be
Right.
like this cool guru.
Right.
There's
Right.
all these couples therapists out there, and
Right.
how will I help? Anyway, so I just told myself I didn't do couples.
Mm.
And then I guess it's been about a year or so just talking to Maureen and about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not in length,
Mhm.
but really just watching her.
Yeah.
And I needed to mix up my caseload too, because I just saw individuals.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
not that they're not great, but Maureen said to me once,
Okay.
she does couples and I do individual, and just anyway,
Right.
her saying they just need to figure these things out for themselves. They got to figure it out, man. I mean, if someone's listening to this and then they hear us say they got to figure it out, they'll probably go, "What kind of therapist is that?
What are
Not
we going
telling
for?"
us what to do?"
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't tell people what to do.
Right.
So when Maureen said that, it clicked for me. It's like, yeah, they just have to figure it out. I don't know why. And so I just decided that I was going to try it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably been about a year and a half, maybe. I
Right.
don't know. And I just started asking for couples.
Wow.
And I love it.
That's amazing.
The first couples were, you were challenging. It takes practice.
Right. Okay. No, I can see it. Yeah, I've worked with couples, not recently, but historically I've taken on couples, and it's a different experience, and
Yeah.
and I think the part of the essence of being successful in that kind of work is, to your point, realizing, acknowledging, and accepting that it's not our job to fix.
Right.
It's our job to show up, support, provide some psychoeducation, be a bit of a beacon of light, if you will, but, just to instill some information on them that they didn't come in the door with. And then to Maureen's point, it's like, let them do what they're going to do with that information.
Yeah. And what do
You
they
know what I
want?
mean? And what are the goals?
Do they want to stay together?
Absolutely.
Great. Do you not want to stay
Yes.
together?
Yes,
Okay. So how do you want to
absolutely.
get out?
That's right. That's right.
Like, do you guys even like each other?
Exactly.
Why are you together?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's
I don't know. I mean,
no,
it's like,
it's true. It's true, because a couple can come through the door and they can state, or they can assert
Yeah.
initially, that it is their collective or shared goal to stay together, or we want to work some things out before having kids, for example. And then as time goes on,
Yeah.
and if they take that deep dive of sorts that you just mentioned, they might uncover some things that they
Yeah.
weren't prepared for. Do I like you? Do you like me? Are we aligned? Do we have the same worldview? Things come up, things surface. So there
Yeah.
is a bit of an emotional risk that I think is inherent
Yeah.
in that work.
For sure.
You
They're
know.
brave to come to therapy.
Absolutely.
Because it's
Absolutely.
pride and, wait
Yeah.
a minute, I don't want to change. I want to go to
Right.
therapy.
When I
But-
dig my heels
I
in.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
Couples are actually fun.
I agree. You
You do couples as well?
Yeah, not
Kinda,
not
sorta?
currently, but
Okay.
I'm thinking. Honestly, I'm thinking about circling back, because I've gotten some inquiries. I've gotten some,
Ooh.
requests. So I'm thinking about it. So yeah, that's why I
Right
wanted
on.
to chat with you about it. Yeah. Okay. EMDR.
Yeah.
So you are trained and
What
certified.
about
She's
it?
like, what about it? You are trained and certified.
I am. Yeah.
How do you integrate it into your practice? And then I know that you are now an EMDR consultant
In training.
in training. So tell us
So
a little
I
bit
wanna-
about that.
got trained in EMDR in 2019,
Okay.
before the pandemic.
Wow.
And I'll just say, and then certified, I think, a year ago. But, and I'm in training to be a consultant now, just
Nice.
because I want to give back and I want that interaction and I want to
Mhm.
support, and it's just fun,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yep.
So, EMDR has enhanced my practice so much,
It's amazing.
because I don't think that I really knew what trauma was
Yeah.
until I did EMDR, because, I
Mm.
mean, we all know, oh, I'm traumatized, you know.
Right.
It's like we can all give our own,
Right.
but I really didn't understand the brain part and
Mhm.
and how it affects people and how
Yeah.
it keeps them stuck with negative beliefs about
Sure.
themselves.
Yep.
So I don't remember what your question was, but
No, you're speaking to what I just
Oh,
asked you what your
okay,
journey
good.
was like.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great, because
Yeah.
I love doing EMDR and watching people transform.
Right.
And at the end, it's like both of us are like, wow, that was
It's
amazing.
amazing.
And then I love just the tools that EMDR gives you to help identify trauma. Even if you're not
Yeah.
doing EMDR, the language of trauma
Right.
and when and I know that, just it's
Yeah.
great.
That's
I recommend it.
that is,
You
yeah.
gotta- Hopefully you can do it. soon.
Nope, definitely. It's on my list.
Yeah.
It's still on my list. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. Yeah.
And it takes off
Amazing.
the pressure of working with clients of feeling that pressure of helping clients with trauma,
Yeah.
because EMDR is a model that
Mhm.
what's her name? Marsha Linehan? Oh no, she's DBT.
She's DBT.
Francine Shapiro.
Okay.
You know,
Mhm.
God bless her, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not religious.
Mhm. Mhm.
She created this thing that we can
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
for trauma, and
Yeah.
there's a protocol. It's all set up, and it's about the client's brain.
Ah.
It's
Wow.
not about me processing and say, oh yeah, but what about this and what about that? Oh, and
Wow.
it's not talk therapy. It's
Oh my goodness.
amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
That's a really good
amazing.
point. Okay.
Yeah.
So no wonder it is a really lovely complement to what it is that you're already doing. It's an
Oh,
addition.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know compliment, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a supplement. So in other words, you don't stop the talk therapy per se,
Yeah,
but you
separately.
add to what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
So that it changes the experience, changes up the experience a
Yeah.
bit. So
And then clients get into it. The ones that really
Yeah.
grow and complete their
Yeah.
protocols and stuff, they
Yeah.
really get into it.
it's amazing. Wonderful.
So
Okay.
anyway,
Anything else on your professional bucket list? Anything else you're curious about becoming trained or certified in going forward?
I think I want to complete the consultation,
Mhm.
EMDR consultant.
Mhm.
I don't know. This is here in my brain.
Yep.
I think I might have mentioned, not here, but
Yeah.
separately, being, oh my God, I have ADHD myself, so I'd say, okay, ADHD coach.
That's right. Mhm.
I think that would be so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize there were ADHD coaches.
Yeah.
So many of my clients have ADD
Wow.
or ADHD,
Wow.
and just to have that certification to where I can help them more.
Love it.
But who knows if
Mhm.
I'll get to that. But I think I might.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's wonderful.
We'll see.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you can really genuinely resonate
Yeah.
with that experience. That think about how much more
Yeah.
helpful you'd be, how much more
Right.
supportive.
Yeah. So.
And did I hear you mention something about a couple of children's stories or
Oh,
children's
yeah.
books?
I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Years and years and years ago, I started a couple of children's books, and they're just sitting there calling
Wow.
me, and so I would love to finish those.
Yeah. Wow, amazing.
And so now that it's been a while,
Mhm.
I think I would edit them to be more relative,
Sure.
and I have a little more insight to help
Okay.
make them better.
Yeah. Love it.
Try to get them published.
Love it. Love it.
So,
That's great. That's
Anyway.
great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
And I feel like that
That's it.
reinforces that question from earlier. How does Soul Tenders potentially help you grow your practice and
Yes.
help support you? So there you have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Okay.
Yeah. So you can add
Wonderful.
support, provider relations, PS, all those people
Yeah, those are the
help
resources.
us. Yeah.
Yep.
Grow our practice.
Absolutely. There you go.
And Carmen.
Hi, I'm here too. Yeah, these monthly, podcasts. I think
My God.
are wonderful, and I hope hopefully people are benefiting, and these conversations are amazing, and yeah, just so another layer of support
Yes.
for folks. So, when we wanted to say
I
something else.
said that
Yeah.
not jokingly, but I said, and Carmen, but yes, you're interviewing
Yeah.
providers, giving them
Absolutely.
a platform,
For
and
sure.
just the process of answering all the questions actually helped me to reflect.
Wonderful. I'm
But
really
so
glad
you're
to hear
doing
that.
something really good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So during our initial conversation, you shared with me, I'm going to quote you.
Oh.
You stated, I come from a place of not knowing.
Forget.
I think that's powerful.
Yeah.
And you even saying that was powerful to me. So what does
Okay.
that mean to you?
I don't know. So many reasons. I mean, when we're in school, we learn stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We learn so many things, and then
Right.
it's like, okay, what's your stance? It's like,
Right.
oh, I'm this and this. I mean, and thank goodness that we learn all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
Right.
to me, coming from a place of not knowing isn't saying I don't know anything.
Sure.
It's just a place of not knowing with my clients.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Because that gives them, if I come in like that in the space,
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully accepting the client.
That's
I'm
right.
going, okay, I
Yeah.
don't know.
No biases, no
No
preconceived
bias.
notions, no assumptions.
All the different
Yeah.
groups,
Yeah.
the LGBT group,
Yeah.
people of color,
Yeah.
religious group. That's a
Yes.
big one for me because
Sure.
I'm an ex-Christian.
Okay.
I mean, I
Okay.
used to be, and then I became and so it would be tempting for me to be,
Sure.
but I'm not.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
that's great.
Absolutely.
It's a great resource,
Mhm.
And then I'm thinking of another group, and I can't think of it. But basically, or couples,
Right.
for instance.
Sure.
If I go in and say, oh, they need to stay together.
Mm.
I don't know that.
Right.
And it gives me empowerment to
Yeah.
say, I don't know what's best for my client.
Right.
I don't know what they want.
Yeah.
They're going to tell me.
Yes.
And then that gives the client all the power to fully be themselves.
Absolutely.
And not feel like they're having to please me
That's right.
or
yeah.
use some language they got off the internet.
That's right. Yeah. No.
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially the first
So-
thing, not having to please you, because it's I
Yeah.
feel like it's part of our multifaceted role to model for our clients that, hey, I'm here to help you challenge that narrative.
Yes.
And one of the narratives might be, I need to people please, or I need to show up a certain way in
Yeah.
order to gain acceptance. So we're here to help them
Yeah.
challenge the narrative. And one of the primary ways to do that is just to model the opposite. I'm not here to judge.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said about that blank slate approach and
Yeah.
allowing your client to educate
For sure.
you.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so many things, my brain, there's so many things. There's a list of biases with all of us.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know.
Of course.
If someone has a particular diagnosis, and if I
Yeah.
think, oh, if they've got that diagnosis, then they're acting okay, this is what
Yeah.
we need to work. But maybe
Yeah.
they got that handled. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Yeah,
you
they'll
know?
and you'll
Or if
encourage them to let you know where they stand with that.
Yeah.
Tell me.
And they do tell us.
For sure.
Huh.
If we cultivate that environment, that kind of environment that, enables them to feel that it's a safe space, and that whatever they say, that they're free to express whatever they need to, and there won't be any backlash or, anything like that.
Right.
So, and the more we create that space, the more they'll open up over
Yeah.
time.
I can be
So-
corrected
Mm-hmm.
and not be all
Oh my gosh! Like, wait.
defensive.
Right,
I'm the
exactly.
therapist,
Wait, I'm
you
the
know.
expert. You're
Yeah.
correcting me. It's like, you're not the expert on them, though. That's the thing.
No,
we went to school, but we're not experts on
Yeah.
clients' lives. They're experts. They're the experts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right? They're the stewards over their own experience. So,
Mhm.
Okay. So as we come full circle and kind of round this out,
Okay.
my very last inquiry is: what are your hobbies, pastimes? What do you enjoy doing outside of work? Yeah.
I like my pastimes. Hiking was a big thing, but it's been a while since I've really been in the mountains and done that. I
Yeah.
love the mountains. I love the ocean.
Love it.
I love dirt,
Mm-hmm.
trails, just walking on
Yeah.
trails, whether it's in the mountains or just anywhere,
Yeah.
really, a sidewalk.
Sure.
I like spending time with friends in an intimate way, like
Mhm.
one or two maybe.
Mhm.
I'm not a big group person,
Right.
which is funny because people might think I am, but I'm not.
You're not.
I don't know. I'm just like, just connection,
Mm-hmm.
movies, road trips. It's pretty simple,
Have fun,
actually.
yeah.
Just have fun,
Yeah.
chill,
Yeah. Love
spend
it.
time with my family, friends. I don't
Wonderful.
know.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I love
Nothing
it.
spectacular.
No, but still, we gotta, have
Yeah.
things that we enjoy that help us to not only have fun, but to, decompress.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed our time together this morning. Thank you again for your time.
You're
I
welcome.
really appreciate it. It's been lovely.
I have too.
Thank you. Thank you. So, if any of our viewers have questions for you or would like to reach out and connect,
Okay.
I imagine they could probably email you. So,
Sure.
what is the best email address to reach you
That's
at?
where I look. Oh, I look up. You can reach me at cgruman.ic@soultenders.com.
Perfect.
Feel free to reach out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And for anyone who might have questions for me about Provider Spotlight or conversations with Carmen specifically, as always, I can be reached at cmajied, MAJIED, .ip@soultenders.com. And if you have questions about Provider Spotlight, if you want to be in the spotlight, if you'd love to share this intimate platform with me for an hour, feel free to reach out to Provider Relations at providerrelations@soultenders.com. Once again, I'm Dr. Carmen Majid. This is my fellow colleague, my wonderful colleague and fellow private practice owner, Cathy Gruman, licensed marriage and family therapist. Thank you again.
Aw, thank
and we'll
you,
catch you
Carmen.
all next time. Take care.
Okay.